Hello and welcome to KPMG's 10 Minutes in Tax, where we take a deep dive into some topical tax issues in 10 minutes. Today we're looking at real-time reporting for PAYE, which was introduced in Ireland in 2019. My name is Claire Davey. I'm Head of PAYE and Personal Tax Compliance in KPMG Ireland. And today I'm delighted to be joined by my colleagues Duncan Watson, an Associate Director in our People Services Tax Practice, and Andrew Egan, a Tax Director in our Tax Transformation and Technology team. So Duncan, I might start with you first. You've been busy assisting employers in reporting PAYE under the new system. So can you explain, Duncan, what exactly have these changes meant for employers in practice?
Well, Claire, yes, real-time reporting has fundamentally changed the payroll landscape and the way employers interact with revenue. In a nutshell, real-time reporting requires employers to provide a detailed breakdown of payments, deductions, and taxes for all their employees on or before each payment date. And this is a major change, actually, as historically similar information was only made available to revenue after each tax year end.
And presumably then, Duncan, this has given revenue greater visibility over taxpayer information.
Yes, absolutely it has. And revenue are now able to review taxpayer information in real time. And this has enabled them to more easily identify PAYE irregularities compared to the previous system. Further, under revised legislation, revenue now have wider powers, which has increased the risk for employers who have errors in their PAYE reporting. And we find that generally this is largely as a result of weak internal payroll processes.
And in practice then, are we seeing revenue scrutiny over employers' PAYE application then, Duncan?
Yes, the digitalisation of the PAYE system has completely raised the bar, Claire, in terms of PAYE compliance. In summary, the timeliness and accuracy of data are key to ensuring compliance under real-time reporting. As a result of these new challenges, many employers have had to undergo a complete overhaul of existing practices and procedures to enable them to comply with the new system.
Duncan, you mentioned new challenges. What type of challenges have employers been facing in practice in reporting PAYE under the new system?
Yes, the main challenges we're finding employers face relate mainly to the timely reporting of non-core pay items, which before the new system allowed for a degree of retrospective reporting without a penalty. For example, typically payroll teams can experience delays in obtaining complete information when it comes to non-cash benefits in kind and taxable expense payments. Company cars, for instance, require constant review, and also share-based remuneration can take a great deal of effort and time to determine the precise taxable amount. So briefly there, the employer really has the pressure of meeting the timely reporting requirements, which are quite stringent under real-time reporting.
Okay, and Duncan, what about arrangements for inbound assignees that are commonly transferred into an Irish business of a multinational company?
Yes, Claire, there is generally still a PAYE requirement for these employees, and Irish employers are faced with having to run a shadow payroll, even though they are not formally employed by the Irish company. This presents a further challenge, as payroll data usually needs to be gathered from various sources, for example, the foreign employing company and maybe even a third-party provider. So the pressure to meet the real-time reporting in these circumstances can be a significant challenge.
Okay, so having an up-to-date record of where your globally mobile employees are located, Duncan, will be key.
Yeah, absolutely. Knowing where your people are working and based is key to success in PAYE compliance these days.
Okay, so Duncan, have revenue moved at all to help employers who are faced with these challenges, particularly for the more complex payroll arrangements?
Well, yes, to be fair, revenue were alive to some of these difficulties and have provided some much needed guidance and clarity in this complex area. For example, While it is still necessary for shadow payrolls and benefits in kind to comply with the new real-time reporting regime, there is some relaxation to the new rules. A best estimate can be used in the first instance with a correction for accurate payroll, accurate data in the next payroll submission. Further, revenue have confirmed specifically in the case of company cars that the BIK can be adjusted on a quarterly basis.
And Duncan, are there any recommended procedures to assist employers in meeting their new obligations under the new PAYE system?
Well, Claire, in summary there, regardless of these relaxations, employers should review their payroll processes involving all the various stakeholders within their organisation to ensure that they are robust and effective. This should reduce the likelihood of errors being made and possible interest and penalties for non-compliance with the new regulations. That's what we would recommend.
Okay, thanks, Duncan. And Andrew, turning to you now and touching on something Duncan mentioned there in terms of processes and procedures, can you tell us how you've been helping clients from a PAYE process perspective to ensure that they're fully compliant with the new rules?
Claire, we're finding that clients have gotten to grips with the new reporting and have good robust processes in place for regular pay and benefit items. However, as Duncan noted earlier, it's always been challenging to get the ad hoc, the non-pay and benefit items, especially where this information is dispersed throughout the business. Now revenue requires such non-core items to be correctly reported each week or month, and this is very challenging for tax, HR or payroll teams. We are working with clients to help deliver the required data in due time for reporting. This can involve helping clients implement new technologies and processes, but in many cases, really, it's simple tweaks and small amendments to existing reports and processes that can deliver the required information in a timely manner.
Okay, so it seems, Andrew, Revenue's digital platform is proving quite a powerful tool.
It is, Claire, absolutely. And aside from the obvious benefit of the increased data capture for supporting revenue audits and interventions, it's proved to be a huge asset during the COVID period in providing cash flow assistance to businesses with the COVID income support schemes, the TWSS and the EWSS. In summary, the main point is that revenue's visibility in the area is at an all-time high, and there's now significant financial and reputational risk associated with non-compliance. Interest and penalties for underpayment can prove costly and also lead to publication if not managed correctly. And we've seen some large settlements with revenue in the area of PAYE.
Okay, and Andrew, looking at the evolution of real-time reporting, for example, 2018, a year of preparation, then we had 2019, a year of transition, and of course, 2020, a year of disruption. You know, where are we now with real-time reporting, and what direction do you think things are moving in?
Yeah, there's certainly been a difference in revenue's approach over the last 2.5 years in dealing with non-compliance. In 2019, much of the focus was on the successful implementation, and revenue sought to work with employers and assist them with getting to grips with the new system and the new procedures. They were quite lenient in 2019, and that was quite helpful and welcomed. However, the goodwill was unlikely to last forever, and revenue expected employers to have gotten to grips and grasp the new system and to be fully compliant in 2020. As we move through 2021, we're seeing more evidence, somewhat anecdotal, but more certainly to suggest a harder line approach is now being taken to non-compliance by revenue.
Okay, thank you, Duncan and Andrew. That's been really helpful and informative. I think it's fair to say the digitalisation of the PAYE system means more is now expected of employers and the way they manage their compliance obligations. So with this in mind and what we've been discussing today, I think my 3 key takeaways for employers are: number 1, now is an ideal time for employers to undertake a self-review of real-time reporting administration to date. Number 2, employers should then look to address any identified compliance issues. And number 3, employers should look to put in place robust PAYE controls to enable them to recognise when PAYE obligations arise. Please visit our KPMG realtime.ie tax webpage for regular tax updates. And if you have any queries in relation to the matters discussed today, please feel free to contact myself, Duncan or Andrew, or your usual KPMG contact. Thank you for watching.